Welcome to another show of No Holds Barred that you can obviously download on your Vodacom Bulls app. Today again we'll be looking at some interesting questions because I think we're getting almost to playing time. It looks like we're going to be starting soon, so I'm sure some of the questions that will be coming in will be a little bit more directed to, I suppose, playing style and people that could massively play a role this year. Well, Elrich Lowe is obviously an outstanding junior. Everyone knows him. You know, he's one of those guys who probably leapfrogged junior rugby straight into senior rugby, as we all know, down at the Kings. Made a massive impression down there. Comes from a school close to here, Transvaal, so probably nicer for him to be closer to his family. What does he bring? I mean, he brings everything. He's big, he's strong, he's got, as I said, he's got youth on his side. He's going to develop a lot as a player. Can offer us anything in the back row, and I suppose if the push comes to shove, he could probably cover as a lock forward as well. So looking forward to working with him, and as I can say, in 1 week that he's been here, has made a massive impact already. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be someone that the Bulls supporters will be proud of. Well, Dylan, interesting. I think we're probably going to have to think a little bit out the box. Chatted to Edgar Rathbone this morning. In fact, he mentioned it to me. What do the players want? You know, I think it's important that we create a bit of an atmosphere at the stadium, especially when we can at our own home stadium. So we'll probably be working ways with the marketing department as to what would be a motivating thing for them. You know, whether it's music, whether it's fake noise in the crowd, whether it's, you know, I'm not sure whatever they come up with, but I'm sure that there'll be a buy-in from the players and from the management to make sure that we make Loftus and our home games extra special. Yeah, well, look, I think that we have to get across the gain line if you play any rugby. I mean, that's the secret of it. Once you get across the gain line, you get momentum. Once you got momentum, you get numbers running onto the ball and you get less defenders. So it has been a problem. It's quite right when you say that the Bulls struggled with that. I think our signings and the players we're bringing in now will add some new dimension to that, but I also think that there's ways in which you can change your attack, you know, maybe a bit more options around the ball carrier, which also creates a bit of a soft shoulder, and then therefore you get some, you know, gain line. It's not just about picking certain players, it's about developing their skills so that they can actually use their skills to get across the gain line as well. Well, look, that was one of the most special days of my coaching career. I mean, obviously coaching the Springboks and becoming the national coach and all those highlights are obviously massive for me. But coaching in a foreign country, having played against the British and Irish Lions, a successful British and Irish Lions team that toured Australia, you know, I think we were the only team that actually won, you know, obviously of all the provincial sides. And it wasn't really a depleted side so much as it was without the international players who were on international duty. So a lot of young guys there in that team who have gone on to play for Australia, played in that game against the British and Irish Lions. A lot of them used that as a springboard to get themselves into international rugby. So, you know, hopefully we can mimic that a little bit with a Bulls team. I mean, there's a very good group of youngsters coming through. You know, we might be in the same position. We might in a year's time have a lot of guys who they're senior players in the national team, and that'll give us an opportunity to play the same sort of junior team against the British and Irish Lions. And, you know, it's the week before the first test match, so it's an unbelievable time to play them. You know, by then they would have been settled in their tour, and obviously by then we would know how many Springboks we've got. So part of our planning now and keeping a lot of these youngsters, you know, going and training together is for them to get exposure in games like that. Chris, you know, when I hear that, it makes me really proud, because I think that you're one of many, not only boys, I mean girls as well, that would love to represent the Bulls at rugby. And that again makes my job so much easier, makes my job so much more pleasant to understand that people out there want to be part of this Bulls brand. I've said it many times as well that you know, this is one of the best rugby brands in the world. So it doesn't surprise me, Chris, that you'd like to be part of it. It doesn't surprise me you'd love to wear the jersey once. And part of my job is to get these youngsters and the guys that are in the mix to actually appreciate how much it means to guys like you, and hopefully they get the same sentiment when they run out for their province.